Policy experts are concerned that the escalating tension between China and Taiwan could lead to a military conflict that could destabilize the entire region. This standoff is not the first time that China has shown aggression towards Taiwan. In fact, China has long claimed sovereignty over Taiwan, which has been a de facto independent state since 1949. The recent meeting between Taiwan's president and U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has only added fuel to the fire. Beijing sees this meeting as a direct challenge to its authority over Taiwan and is using this as an excuse to flex its military muscles. But why is China so concerned about Taiwan's relationship with the U.S.? The international relations and regional power dynamics surrounding Taiwan are intricate and multifaceted. The Chinese government's view of Taiwan as a renegade province that needs to be reintegrated into mainland China is driven by both national pride and strategic interests. Taiwan holds significant importance for China, both as a geographically strategic location near important shipping lanes and as a buffer zone against potential military threats. China's increasing military presence in the region over the past few years and its recent actions signal its willingness to use force to achieve its objectives. The People's Liberation Army, PLA, has conducted several military exercises around Taiwan, signaling its intentions and capabilities to the international community. However, such actions have had unintended consequences, as they have only further strengthened Taiwan's resolve for independence, pushing the Taiwanese people towards the party that supports independence, the Democratic Progressive Party, DPP. The situation remains a delicate balance of power, as China's aggressive actions and rhetoric only serve to alienate Taiwan and increase regional tensions. The international community, including the United States, has a significant stake in the peaceful resolution of this issue, as it could have far-reaching consequences for regional stability and global trade. Therefore, it is crucial that all parties involved engage in constructive dialogue to find a peaceful and sustainable solution to this long-standing conflict. However, it is important to note that China's aggression towards Taiwan is not just about Taiwan itself. It is also a way for China to assert its dominance in the region and challenge the U.S.'s influence. The U.S. has long supported Taiwan and has sold weapons to the island nation to help it defend itself against potential aggression from China. China sees this as a direct challenge to its authority and is determined to push back against U.S. interference in the region. By showing its willingness to use force against Taiwan, China is sending a clear message to the U.S. and its allies that it will not be pushed around. The situation in the Taiwan Strait is complex and fraught with danger. A military conflict between China and Taiwan could have far-reaching consequences for the entire region and the world. It is important for all parties involved to exercise restraint and find a peaceful solution to this long-standing issue. Did you know that experts believe that the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, is using a show of force to practice how they would execute a full-on invasion of Taiwan? In fact, they have done similar exercises back in August when Pelosi visited the island. This time around, though, the exercise wasn't as intense as the last time, and there's a secret reason for that. The CCP has other plans. The CCP wants to show they can take Taiwan forcefully, but they don't want to take it forcefully. You see, doing it forcefully could go wrong very quickly. China has seen how Russia's attempt is playing out in Ukraine. In fact, the U.S. Navy sent a destroyer close to Chinese islands in the South China Sea, while China was busy doing its little military show of force around Taiwan. But the CCP has another plan, and that plan is to take over Taiwan internally. You see, Taiwan is just 10 months away from a presidential election that Beijing wants the opposition to win. The Kuomintang KMT promotes friendlier ties with China as a way to keep the peace and accuses the DPP of bringing Taiwan closer to conflict with its U.S.-focused efforts. During the 2016 presidential campaign in Taiwan, the DPP candidate, Tsai Ing-wen, made it clear that she wanted to maintain the status quo with China, but also strengthen Taiwan's international standing. This approach was in contrast to the KMT's former president, Ma Ying-jeou, who favored closer ties with China. As a result, when Tsai Ing-wen toured the U.S., Guatemala, and Belize, Ma Ying-jeou went to China on a mission to bolster people-to-people exchanges and cross-strait relations. These dueling foreign visits provided a clear delineation between the different approaches for relations between Taiwan and China. This is where the CCP is hoping that the KMT wins the next election because it makes Xi Jinping's reunification goal a little bit easier. However, the issue is that the CCP's aggressive actions make peaceful reunification harder for itself. Every time the CCP flexes its military muscles, it further alienates the Taiwanese people and strengthens the support for independence and the DPP. The CCP's actions also risk provoking the United States, which has pledged to defend Taiwan against any military aggression. Therefore, the CCP's strategy of trying to manipulate Taiwan's elections by supporting the KMT and intimidating the Taiwanese people through military exercises is ultimately self-defeating. It is worth noting that the CCP finds itself in a complex situation. On one hand, it wants to show its strength and capability to its citizens and the world. On the other hand, it also wants to maintain peaceful relations with Taiwan, particularly as the island's presidential election approaches. The CCP knows that its aggressive military exercises could potentially lead to an increase in support for Taiwan's independence and the DPP. However, it also needs to appease its supporters who expect the party to be forceful in protecting China's sovereignty and territorial integrity. This is where the CCP's use of nationalism comes into play. By stoking nationalism among its citizens, the party can justify its aggressive actions towards Taiwan and other perceived threats. This also explains why the CCP reacts aggressively to even the smallest of actions, as it does not want to be seen as weak or vulnerable. In short, the CCP's aggressive military exercises serve multiple purposes, including showcasing its strength, maintaining support among its citizens, and sending a message to Taiwan and other potential adversaries. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe and enable notifications for future videos about the global economy.